going to do our Ring Central training. Right. So the first and foremost thing to understand is any incoming call from a customer starts in this section. You go to phone system and then the auto receptionist. Right here is the first point at which any incoming call into our company hits. And all these rules must be set up correctly. So for instance, this screen right here controls what call goes into regular hours treatment or after hours treatment. So right here we are set up correctly because it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 8 to 5:30. So any call in between this time zone here or this time period here will be treated as a regular hour and will receive regular hour treatment, and anything outside of that will receive after hours treatment. Now let's go to, all right, so this is the company hours setting. The way what we have configured it is during company hours, any incoming call will directly be sent to extension 2. The main company level setting, which is will not even question anything, it'll just send it to extension 2. And then anything after hours, exact same thing will happen. It will also forward it to extension 2. There is really no difference. Now, so this is why it becomes extremely important to make sure that the settings of extension 2 are correct. The business hours setting inside extension 2 matches the Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. That's their business hours. And then the voicemail, or the voicemail greeting or message that's recorded in extension 2 is correct. Then the after hours message is correct because all of that is being handled under extension 2. At the main level, we're simply forwarding all calls to extension 2. But there are some exceptions to that, and we're going to come to that. But before we do, let's go and check extension 2 settings. So if we go to extension 2, all right, what we must do is go under user details, go under settings and permission. And first thing we must check is user hours. And look right here, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. through 5:30 p.m. So the setting is correct, okay? Any call that gets forwarded during those regular business hours to extension 2 will go under extension 2 and it will go to the during business hours setting of extension 2. And then what we want to check is messages and things. I mean, so this greeting right here is what is played. If somebody calls during regular business hours and somehow nobody picks up, this is what plays. This message here is what plays if somebody calls outside of regular business hours and obviously nobody will pick up, and then this is the message that'll play. And if you want to edit it, you can edit it here, record a custom message. Same thing here, you can edit it and record a custom message. This is called handling and forwarding. So during business hours, if somebody calls, any incoming call will be forwarded to all of these active numbers. 75 seconds is the number, it will keep ringing. And the setting here is simultaneous, which is what we want. All of them will ring together. And after hours, if somebody calls, we're sending them directly to voicemail. And like I said, that voicemail is the message here. This is the message that'll play when they get, forwarded directly to voicemail. So we want to make sure that all those messages are correctly handled and flowed through. This right here is what happens during business hours when you're trying to connect. So this message is what will play, the moment the customer calls. First thing it'll play is this message. And then, some kind of, the actual ringtone is what will ring, like tring, 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 tring. That's what'll ring. And then this is hold music if for some reason the user is the customer is put on hold. After hours, calls, so basically this is off because we have put it directly to voicemail. So, there's no greeting hold kind of formality here. So as you can see that our settings inside user extension 2 are more or less correct. They look right. Now let's go back to the global settings, which is here. Go back under auto receptionist, general settings, and then, we've already checked company hours. They're correct. Now we go to IVR settings. In IVR settings, in all cases, we're forwarding the call directly to extension 2. Now here are some exceptions, and this is the way we want to handle it. So let me show you the rules we have created. The first one is called the Sean Rao rule. So these custom answering rules override our regular settings, and we definitely want to use them for very specific purposes. So like right now, we're doing that experiment where every morning from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., any incoming call should get forwarded to the extension Sean Rao, which is extension 15. Now, had we not put this rule, any incoming call would actually be handled like any after-hour rule, which is it'll go to extension 2, and there it will encounter no ringing, no formality, nothing. It'll go straight to voicemail, and it will play that after-hour voicemail. But now, because we've created this rule, it'll actually go to extension 15, and here then it becomes extremely important that all the settings in extension 15 are correct. From 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., Sean Rao is active. Otherwise, he'll be, it'll go in a bad loop. So let's verify that. Let's go to users. Let's go to Sean Rao. Let's look at his settings and permission. And if you look at his user hours, sure enough, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., he's active. So his hours are exactly those. So, and let's say he's on the phone or something and he can't take the call, then the customer will go to voicemail, and then this right here is the message that will play. On the other hand, if the call is forwarded to him and he doesn't, and it's outside his dedicated hours, then this is the message that'll play. But this should never happen because the global system is only forwarding calls to him during his open hours. So this technically should never happen, but it's still good to set it up in case it does, and then right here is all the other settings. In his case, it's only, we've set it up to ring 9 rings, 45, and only on desktop and mobile. There's no call, there's no landline number that rings. In the case of this is the moment the call comes, this message right here says, you have reached Mytee Products during extended hours, and somebody will be right with you. And this is just boilerplate, please hold and we will connect you. And then this is the hold music or whatever the ring. So let's go back to the global settings and look at the rules. Auto receptionist, general settings. Now this right here is very interesting. If you look at the custom answering rules, we have created something called the Thanksgiving rule and the Christmas rule. So what this is the way we want to handle holidays is through these rules. We don't want to mess around with our base settings. That always messes things up. So we want to have a standard base setting, but then anything like a Labor Day weekend, Memorial Day weekend, Thanksgiving, Christmas, that's handled through here. You create a rule, we'll create a Thanksgiving rule, and then here you provide the date and time during which this rule is applicable. So I've provided that 11, 20, all of the 26th and the 27th, which is Thursday and Friday, assuming that's when we're off. And then when you go forward, it gets any call during that period gets transferred to the holiday extension. And the holiday extension is what is called a message-only extension. All it does is it plays a holiday message and then records that message. And there's some settings in there to make sure that, when you guys check messages, you do pick them up. But that's the way we want to handle holidays. At the beginning of the year, we want to set up all the holidays for that year through here, through those rules. All right, same thing, Christmas rule, same thing. We've set up a Christmas rule. It's called the Christmas rule. Next, it's the 24th and the 25th. This year, it happens to be Thursday and Friday. 24th is Christmas Eve. That's Thursday. 25th is Christmas Day. That's Friday. Both days were given off. So we're off 4 days. I think these are all changeable. And then once again, it gets forwarded to the holiday extension. And now this is where the message that plays there now is a very standard holiday greeting. However, before the holiday, we can change it, or we can create multiple extensions. We can create like a Thanksgiving extension where it just plays the Thanksgiving greeting, or we can, and the Christmas, where it plays the Christmas. But I mean, I think really it's best to just keep one holiday extension and just keep overriding what it says in there. So and change the rule based on the upcoming holiday. Well, actually, you don't even need to do that. You can just do that up front. All right. So that's really it.